let's move on na, guys. Move on na tayo. Okay? So, close out ko lang to. Don't save. Because like I said, guys, we'll only be using our Blender for this one. Blender lang tayo dito, no? So, to give you guys a sense of what we're about to do sa ano natin, sa module 7 natin dito, I'm just gonna give you guys an example of what I've been working on. So, open ko lang yung ito, si Black Adam. So, just gonna give you guys my current workflow lang natin ngayon. So, based on my example here, but ayaw na mag-load. Okay. So, based on my example here, what do you think will be our discussion for this one? What do you think our discussion will be for this one? Oops. UV mapping. Yes, UV mapping, no? Or basically the process on how we can create our own textures, no? So actually for this one, halo-halo to. Sakit sa ulo gawin ito. But yeah, there we go. This is literally Black Adam, no? So in a sense, as you can see here, literally one object lang siya. No? One object lang siya, but it's using multiple na materials, no? So yan, there we go. Multiple selection siya, and then separated siya by, separated siya by parts. Okay, individual yung head, tapos individual yung sa body. Okay, yan yun. Ayan yung wait, kasi fine. Okay, fine. You don't want to be cooperative, fine. So, there we go. Separated lang siya, no? And then, once I open up yung shader ko, it's literally, yan lang yan, ano? There we go. So, this is literally Nightmare Fuel lang to. Nightmare Fuel. Nightmare Fuel ulit. And then more Nightmare Fuel. And then more Nightmare Fuel, no? So, literally, ito yung ano natin, a scope ng discussion natin ngayon, no? And then same goes for this one, the body. Ito, body, much better tingnan. Oops. Okay, so this one, ayan, body, so ayan. So based on this example alone, yes, tama naman, UV mapping, no? Pero ang specific na tawag natin ng process na gagawin natin dito is called UV unwrapping. Did you make the textures yourself? Actually, halo-halo siya, no? So some came from substance, itong mga ano ko dito, itong texture ng body. So sa substance yan, and then may konting refinement sa sa IBIS paint, no? So konting final touches lang. And then of course, I did bake this one, no? Itong model kasi na to, I didn't make this sa Blender. Ginawa ko siya sa ZBrush and then sa C4D, and then final touches lang sa Blender, no? Very minimal lang gamit ko kay Blender dito. Mainly sa ZBrush ko ginawa to, no? So sculpting natin dito. Itong part ko dito, it's not actually the high poly, this is the low poly version. Low poly version lang yan. And then, there we go. So ito na yun, UV unwrap siya, and then we're out. Okay ko lang, si UV editing. Excuse me. Ayan, so there we go, no? Sakit sa ulo niyan. Ang sakit sa ulo niyan, ano? So, this one, ang pangit lang, hindi lang kaya ma-showcase ni Blender. But, ayan, so this is the UV map of the head. Literally, this is the UV map of the head. And then for the rest of the body, it's there. Tapos yung mga additional parts niya dito, like isa mga belt buckle niya dito, yung mga chains niya dito, there we go. It's all there, no? So yan. That is the scope of our discussion. But of course, I'm not gonna give you guys this complex of a model na gagawin, no? It's not, yung model na papagawa ko sa inyo, it's not this complex, no? So, I'm just gonna open it up na, yung gagawin nyo na, model, or, yung i-unwrap nyo na model, no? So, open ko na rin, no? So, I'm just gonna try and find it again. Hirap na kalat ng scene ko. Teka, I'm just trying to find it again. Personal, where is it? Ito. Wait, ito ba yun? Teka. Where is it? Huh? Ito ba yun? Hindi yata ito yun. Open ko na, teka. Dali lang. Let me just open it up na lang, no? Uh, uh, okay. So actually guys, itong model ko na to, if you're playing a certain game, no, I actually base it on that certain game, no. Some might hate it, but ako personally, I play it. But yeah, it's actually referencing yung ano natin, yung design niya, hindi, not Injustice, it's actually using the same design ng skin ni Black Adam sa Fortnite. No, so don't hate me on that, guys. No, yes, I play Fortnite, but yeah. So it's literally it's using the exact same thing dun sa Fortnite, no. Almost similar siya, no. Ang hindi lang akin dito is actually yung head, no. Hindi ko ginawa yung head kasi struggle na ako sa head, no. So itong head natin dito, kinuha ko lang siya from sa parang Scorpion King model na on the internet. Kinuha ko lang yan, kinabit ko lang dito because sumasakit na ulo ko on how to recreate the Rock's head kasi ang sakit, ang hirap mag-sculpting ng how to try to basically reference things, no. So okay, tara. Okay, so let me just open a new one. Open na ako ng bagong file. Control A, delete. Okay. So this one will be the file. Why did I drag and drop? Teka. Import FBX. Hanapin ko na naman. Oh. All right. So this will be the model that you'll be working on. So yes, this is also another model of mine, no? So if you download this one sa Big Sky, meron na akong certain instructions, guys, no? So itong model ko na to, kasi itong model ko na to, this one is a prototype of one of our characters ginagawa namin na game currently. This one is an old design na, it's not it's not that much of a big deal kapag ginamit nyo. So this one is free to use na, guys, no? Sa inyo rin, lalo sa 3DANI, kung kung same class pa rin tayo, ito rin ang gagamitin natin for the rigging class. And then of course, yung game design course nyo, pwede nyo i-rig to and then i-apply nyo siya sa game nyo. So whatever kung anong gusto nyo gawin, it's going to be here, no? Everything is properly named na rin, no? So magulo to, so preferably, guys, ayusin nyo, no? So yun yung challenges din na binigay ko sa inyo dito. You are gonna have to arrange things para malinis tingnan yung outliner nyo. Okay? So knowing all of that, tingnan na natin kung ano yung discussion natin for this meeting, no? Kasi texturing 2 na tayo sa Module 7, Intermediate Texturing. Let's go behind the scenes on what the hell is UV unwrapping, no? Ano bang i-encounter natin, no? So, this is our usual stick, no? Now, itong natin, wala tayong cheat sheet of the week kasi literally, there's no cheat sheet to talk about here. Kasi literally, we already have 2 buttons lang, two keyboard presses lang tayo, which is literally just basic navigation, no? Basic navigation stuff lang, and then literally mouse lang gagamitin natin, no? So, i-discuss lang natin kung ano yung intermediate texturing. I'm just gonna cover this as fast as possible. And then, of course, yung base materials, basics of UV unwrapping, etc., etc. And then, of course, yung activity 7. So, terms to remember: textures, UV unwrapping, UV maps, seams, and then, of course, peel. No? So, unahin natin, what the hell ano ba gagawin sa intermediate texturing, no? So, as we've discussed before, no, texturing is a pretty vital point sa natin, sa career ng isang 3D artist, no? Very, very important ang texturing. Kasi, sometimes yun din ang ginagawa din ng mga 3D artists. Hindi lang nila basta-basta pinapasa yan sa mga texturing artists. Kasi yung mga trabaho ng texturing artist is literally texturing na lang, yung pagkulay natin. Yung portion na ginagawa ng 3D artist, yun yung tinatawag na nga natin na UV unwrapping. We're basically readying yung parang canvas ng mga texture artist. So, bali, gagawin na lang halos ng 3D texture artist is literally paint over that canvas. So the process what we're going to do today is yun nga, UV unwrapping. We are going to be laying out the foundation to where we can put our own textures. And then texturing, as stated here, is a whole other skill that is completely different from 3D modeling, and it can get very difficult pretty quick. Because like I said, this will be the hardest thing that we're about to discuss and about to demonstrate for you guys. Very complicated to, kaya I am really saddened na kakaunti lang kayo ngayon. So, good luck sa mga hindi pumasok ngayon, So texturing is basically the process of adding color or materials to your 3D model, as we've discussed already before. We're basically giving color to our line art, where line art is our 3D model and our color is our texture. Now, it is a necessary skill to have, as I said, for a 3D artist due to the severe limitations in both technical and creative output you can get from your software's base materials. And then, of course, yun nga, yung mga materials natin na nakuha natin sa internet. Definitely, most of the time, original materials ang magagamit natin if you're gonna be working on your own concept, yung mga concept arts nyo or yung mga sarili nyo gawa, mga fan art nyo. Like for example, itong itong kay Black Adam ko, So, hindi ako basta makakahanap niyo sa over the internet, Yes, okay naman makahanap ako over the internet, but sometimes maraming editing yan, So, marami akong magka-crop out. Like for example, yung logo ni Black Adam sa dibdib niya, yung parang bolt niya. Hindi ko lang basta magagawa yan. Hirap kaya nun. So, texture lang yun. Mainly, texturing will give you the upper edge on that. Kasi, yun nga, like I said, very limiting din talaga nakukuha natin sa internet. Okay? Now, as of today, there are numerous softwares, plugins, scripts, and add-ons you can add to your software to easily map out your UVs. Na-discuss natin kung ano yung UVs, to easily texture your models as well as easily texture it. Medyo redundant to, but yeah, it's gonna be naman yun. Ma-understood nyo rin to maya-maya, So, despite knowing that, I'm not going to allow anything whatsoever na mag-UV unwrap para sa inyo, guys. Guys, napakadali na mag-UV unwrap sa Blender. Hindi nyo na kailangan mag-download pa ng kung anong software, Guys, malalaman ko yan. Malalaman ko yan, So, hindi nyo na lahat Blender lang tayo ngayon kasi like I said, napakadali lang mag-UV unwrap sa Blender. Okay? We've already discussed this, what our textures are, and then itong mga 3 ways natin dito, blah, blah, blah. Base materials, Itong base materials natin dito, I'll be discussing this din sa 3ds Max, So yung 3ds Max, discuss na natin yan si physical material and then si Arnold standard surface. That's literally both of the materials na pwede na gamitin. Now, preferably, kapag custom textures na tayo nga lang, pag gamit lang UV unwrap, usually definitely magagamit nyo lang dito is yung diffuse nyo. Diffuse material lang magagamit nyo kasi yun lang yung pinaka main color na magagawa nyo. So kapag ganon, lagay nyo na lang siya sa sa pwedeng standard surface kasi much better tingnan, or depende, mamili na lang kayo, kapag 3ds Max, mamili na lang kayo either physical material or standard surface, whatever works sa tingin nyo, Okay? Now for Blender, I mean literally we're stuck with one principled BSDF lang tayo, doon lang tayo, So there we go. So itong mga natin dito, yung mga base material natin dito, ito yung mga pinaka-important natin. So I'm not gonna be discussing everything, So base color, subsurface, metallic, specular, roughness, coat, IOR, and then emission, So you can just read this on your own time. Ang mga kailangan nyo na tandaan natin dito is si base color, which we already know na, Changes color tayo dyan. Si subsurface, translucency, or how much light passes through that material, usually for mga transparent textures yan, sa mga, like for example, sa mga glass, sa mga diamond, So usually for stuff like that where light should be passing through. And then metallic qualities, we already know that. Specular, how much light will affect the material. Hindi na masyadong kailangan natin, pwede naman natin zero out yan, or pwedeng stick with the default 0.5. Roughness, 0 to 1. Kapag wala tayong roughness map, yung roughness natin, 0 stands for very reflective, and then 1 stands for very rough, So pwede yung nasa decimal point siya para matimpla nyo kung paano nyo gagawin yung roughness, yung gaano ka-reflective yung buong scene nyo. But I'll be I'll be showing you later na pwede nyo gawin para madali nyo manipulate yung yung base color nyo and gawin nyo na siyang as roughness na rin. No? So it's actually pretty easy to do. Now, IOR, pretty important rin yan kapag mga glass textures or mga materials na na may reflective qualities. May link tayo dito, IOR for refraction or how light affects the material. So click nyo na, browse yan. If you're trying to mimic certain materials natin, for example, water or glass, open lang natin yan. It's going to be here, no? So index of refraction lang siya. So andito siya, no? So air, for example, 1.0003, water 1.33, glass 1.5. Ayan, no? So marami tayong mga tawag dito na IOR values na pwede nyong ma-replicate, no? So click nyo lang yon. Balik tayo dito. Okay? So dito na tayo. Basics of UV unwrapping, no? So UV unwrapping, basically TLDR natin, we're basically going to turn our 3D object into a 2D plane, into a 2D plane for you to paint on or add textures with complete creative freedom. So basically, ganyan siya. No? Isipin nyo tong dice natin. So at one point in your life, definitely na-encounter nyo na tong specific na layout natin dito to create a box or a dice. No? Agree kayo guys? Agree tayo? Agree tayo lahat dyan? Na-encounter nyo na to at one point in your life. No? So itong T-shape na cutout natin dito. No? So ito, like I said, no? Think of it like creating a dice with a cutout as the name suggests. No? As the name suggests, UV unwrapping is the process of unwrapping your 3D object into a 2D texture. Now, itong UV unwrapping natin dito, definitely na-encounter nyo na to at one point, lalo na mga Blender users, na-encounter nyo na to in your probably YouTube feed nyo, itong UV unwrapping. Ito na ang sasabihin ko agad sa inyo. UV unwrapping, kapag may nakita kayong tutorial about UV unwrapping, that is absolute garbage. Walang tutorial for UV unwrapping. Ang tutorial lang na matututunan nyo is how to UV unwrap, not yung proper method on how to unwrap certain objects. Bakit? Because UV unwrapping, as I said here, differs from artist to artist due to our own creative uniqueness. Thus, depends on what kind of design you will apply to your model. Because when you're going to be UV unwrapping, kailangan before this process, alam mo na kaagad kung anong gustong design ang gagawin mo sa model mo. No? Special case din dito kay dice, no? Now sa dice, we already know what a dice should look like, di ba? Meron tayong mga dots sa gitna, no? Meron tayong may 1, may 2, may 3, etc., etc., no? So alam na natin kung ano yung itsura niya. Kaya ganito na yung design natin sa cutout natin, di ba? When we try to do a cutout of a dice, ganyan palagi ang magiging resulta ng ating cutout, right? Di ba? Do we agree on that? So, knowing all of that, kaya nga sinasabi ko, no, alam mo na dapat yung design ng magiging texture mo for that model before you UV unwrap. Because knowing what the design that you're supposed to make will definitely aid you during UV unwrapping. Either mapapadali or mapapahirap. It depends on how complex or how complicated your design will look in terms of texture. No? So, are we clear on that ba guys? No? So, TLDR, know what design you should make first before you UV unwrap. Okay? Yun ang pinaka-important na kailangan nyo tandaan. Because doon palagi nakasalalay kung gaano kahirap yung magiging UV unwrapping natin. Kasi like I said, no, it differs from artist to artist ang pag-ating UV unwrap. Okay? Kasi, yun nga, no? Not everyone has the same method of creation. Especially sa pag-drawing natin, di ba? So, example natin, again, sa pag-drawing. Let's say, you're trying to mimic yung mga ginagawa ng Studio Ghibli. No? So, may nahanap ka sa tutorial, how to make Studio Ghibli art. No? Hindi mo masasabi na, hindi mo pwedeng masabi na, I've mastered Studio Ghibli art, no, by watching YouTube tutorials. No, that's not real. That's not realistic. That is still not Studio Ghibli style. Bakit? Hindi ka kasi nagtatrabaho doon and you just learned it from the internet. That's why iba pa rin yung magiging output. Kahit sabihin mong very similar na siya from the actual output sa tutorial na yon, it's still not Studio Ghibli art. It is still your own unique style. No, you're just trying to imitate it. No, so in a sense, it is still your own unique style. Same concept din tayo sa UV unwrapping. No, different methods. Okay. Now, itong UV unwrapping natin na to, literally, it's just as hard as topology. No, it's just as hard because, like I said, like topology, wala tayong tutorial na mahanap niyan sa YouTube. Wala tayong mahanapan yan. And just like topology, it comes, your mastery of this specific skill comes from trial and error, and of course, continuous modeling. Now, but in the case of UV unwrapping, continuous texturing. No, you can't master this one in one sitting, and it takes experience to fully get a grasp of it. No, so kaya sinasabi natin na this one is the hardest discussion talaga. Okay, but despite this one being the hardest discussion, I've with my years of experience in 3D, I've come up with 3 particular concepts na kailangan nyo lang tandaan while you are UV unwrapping, na sometimes hindi nyo na kailangan isipin pa kung ano yung design nyo. Pwedeng diretso na agad kayo. I-apply nyo lang tong 3 basic concepts na I've come up with. No? So yung 3 concepts natin na yon, number 1 is the dice concept. No? So yung dice concept, it's literally this. No? So unahin natin si dice concept. Number 2, si cutout concept. Okay? Si cutout concept. And then si number 3, si candy wrapper concept. Okay? So knowing those 3, let's get on with our demonstration na. Paano na tayo mag-UV unwrap? So again, like I said, Blender tayo ngayon. I'm not gonna be doing demo muna for this one. Let's start with something simple, no? With a cube. And of course, yun nga yung pinakaunang concept na i-cover natin. It is the dice concept. So let's start with the cube, okay? So mga 3ds Max users, recap muna tayo dito para maka-follow along kayo. So middle mouse natin dito is literally orbit. Orbit tayo dyan, orbit. Middle mouse natin, middle click lang natin. Yung scroll wheel nyo, click nyo lang, that is your orbit. Now, press lang natin is shift while holding the middle mouse. It's the pan. Okay? Panning. Okay? Shift plus middle mouse, panning tayo. And then middle mouse, orbit. Are we clear? 3ds Max users? Clear tayo? Clear tayo so far doon? Naka-follow along? Naka-follow along? Okay, that's good. So next natin, basic movement tayo, no? Basic movement, G is movement. Now kapag pinress lang natin tong si G, freestyle movement tayo dyan. Freestyle movement tayo. So we have 2 choices. You press G first to move it, and then either press X, Y, or Z to basically move it in a certain axis. So ginawa ko lang kanina is X-axis, no? From the starting point, minove ko lang siya dito from the side. No? So I just moved it here by pressing yung X natin, and then I minove ko lang siya, and then press ko lang left click to confirm it. Okay? Now, yun lang talaga pinakailangan nyo. You don't need to scale this one. Kasi, really, 3ds Max users, once you're done UV unwrapping, once nabigay nyo na itong UV unwrapping, pwede nyo na lang itong i-export. I-export nyo na ito, tapos dalhin nyo lang siya sa 3ds Max, and then doon na kayo mag-render kung gusto nyo. No? So, that's going to be the choice that you have. No? So, I'll discuss that later. Okay? So next natin, dito tayo. Sa box natin dito, let's start UV unwrapping. Now currently, if I try to view yung UVs natin dito, yung UV map ko dito, it's already going to look like this, no? Kasi kay Blender kasi mayroon na siyang UV map yung mga base objects natin diyan, no? Not unless nabigyan mo na siya agad ng edit, no? Mababago 'yon. So, unahin muna natin tong si cube. Now, to go to our UV editor, click lang natin tong si UV editing. No? So UV editing tayo. There we go. Now it opens up this secondary view dito. And yun nga, no? So there we go. And then of course, now currently, automatic mapupunta tayo sa edit mode tayo dito. Automatic tayo mapupunta sa edit mode. But kung hindi tayo pinunta sa edit mode, so click lang natin tab. Wala na naman tong screen cap ko. Okay. So select nyo lang itong object and then click lang natin to tab. Or select nyo yung edit mode natin dito by selecting it here. No? Edit mode. Okay? So currently, if I try to select this one by pressing 3 and then pressing 3 for face select and then pressing A, ayan, notice nyo, visible, it's already a dice cut out already. But let's say this one is a super complex object na. No? So I'm just gonna randomize my UVs. So let's say ganyan yung naging itsura niya. Let's say ganyan yung current na itsura niya. It doesn't look like a dice whatsoever, no? Yung dice cutout natin. So, paano natin gagawin yan? So, paano natin naayusin ngayon to? So, let me just switch this over here. So, let's natin dito. All right. So, knowing the dice, no? So, yung first concept natin, like I said, no, is the dice concept. Knowing what a dice should look like, alam na natin siya, pati siya, di ba? Pati. That is our dice. Yeah? So this is our dice. Knowing this, ang kailangan lang natin tandaan for the dice concept is where is this middle part. Kung nasaan tong middle part natin or kung nasaan si first dot. No? So let's just think. Saan natin pwedeng ilagay itong middle part natin dito? So pwede natin isipin, ito na lang. No? Itong part natin dito. Itong part natin ito sa harapan. So isipin natin na this is that part. This is that middle part right here. So knowing that, alam na natin, maalam na natin kung saan natin dapat gugupitin or lalagyan natin ng seams. No? So ano ba yung seams natin? So seams, just like sa natin in the real world, no, yung pag natin sa mga tela, sa mga damit natin, there are going to be mga seams or mga sewang sa ating sa mga sleeves natin that basically connects two pieces of cloth together. Yung natin, yung cloth for the torso and then cloth for the sleeves, di ba? So yung parang lining natin, that basically connects the two, those are what we call seams, no? So literally same thing din dito sa ating sa ating 3D software, no? So yun yung basically what connects those two together. That's what seams are, no? So knowing that, ang gagawin natin sa seams is we need to place it on specific positions to basically come up with this shape natin, with the dice concept. No? Ito yung dice concept natin. So, with the dice concept, ang kailangan yung tandaan natin dito, other than yung kung saan natin dapat itong pinakagitna natin, kung saan natin siya pwedeng i-place, the second part that you need to remember for the dice concept is this specific form. Itong cross natin dito. So, 2 points, no? 2 points ang kailangan nyo tandaan. Number 1, know where would you like to place this middle part. And then number 2, always remember this cross, the shape for the dice cutout. Because yun yung ifa-follow natin na format, di ba? Yun yung ifa-follow natin na format for this specific object. No? Now, let's try to add our seams. No? So, before we actually do that, of course, currently, kapag sinelect ko to, I have to select everything para makita ko lang dito sa UV editor ko. So this part here, this is what we call our UV editor. Okay? So this is our UV editor. Now, yung U and V basically stands for the X and Y axis natin. No? So, sa 3D spaces natin, we have X, Y, Z, di ba? We have X, Y, Z. Sa 2D natin, we have literally just X and Y. But in case sa 3D softwares natin, instead na X and Y, it's called U and V, where U is for the X and V is for the Y. Okay? Medyo baliktad tayo dito, but literally it's the same. No? So it's 2D plane lang naman yun. So U pataas, V pa higa. No? Excuse me. So that is UV. And what we call here, itong portion natin dito, is what we call our UV map or the output that we see after UV unwrapping. No? So kung ano yung nakikita natin sa loob ng grid natin dito, that is our UV map. Okay? So knowing that, dapat lahat ng mga faces natin dito, lahat ng mga portions natin ng UV map natin, dapat nandito sila sa gitna para makuha siya ng software natin, and then yun nga, no, i-export natin yun, madadala natin siya sa ating art software, or kung sa Photoshop, kung sa Ibis Paint, Medibang, Clip Studio, etc. etc. No? So of course, like I said natin kanina, balik tayo dito. We have to select everything para makita lang natin yung mga faces natin dito, no? Yung mga portions natin dito. But we can easily click one button here dito sa UV editor natin to basically have it visible all throughout. So kiklik lang natin to. Itong nasa top left natin dito, itong parang vice versa na icon. And on hover, it says here, UV sync selection. Click lang natin to. And then yun, kita na natin lahat, no? Without actually having the need to select anything. Okay? Are we clear so far? Clear tayo so far?
Yes po.
Okay, so let's start adding our seams. No? So to select our seams, no? So knowing what seams are again, no? So iisa lang ang ibig sabihin niyan. When we're going to be adding seams, hindi natin pwede gamitin si edge. Mali. Hindi natin pwede gamitin si vertex, hindi rin natin pwede gamitin si face. Kailangan natin is edge select, no? So press lang natin to use edge select, no? So edge select. Now, nakaka-select na tayo ng edges natin, no? So again, back to the dice cut sa cutout natin dito. We already know kung nasaan tong part natin dito. Kailangan nating hanapin kung saan tayo kailangan gumupit to basically get our cutout, no? Kasi itong cutout natin dito, itong outline natin dito, this is basically the seams, no? Ito na yung pinaka seams natin kasi, 'di ba? When we try to fold this together, magiging dice siya, no? So basically, yung outline natin ng dice cutout is the seams already. It's where the indications where the seams should be. So, knowing that, alam na natin kung nasaan tong kita natin, alamin na naman natin kung nasaan tong left, right, top, and then bottom portion natin. So, we need to indicate that na ngayon. So, pwede natin i-assume itong kita natin, nandito na siya, no? Pwede natin i-assume itong taas natin dito, it's literally this part, no? Kasi, as you can see here dito sa dice cutout, it's not cut, it looks like it's going to be folded, no? So, i-fold siya. So basically, itong edge natin dito, this should be foldable, no? So, ibig sabihin, hindi natin lalagyan ng seams yan. So, ngayon, dahil natin na this one should be folded, ma-fold siya pa, no? To basically get this part right here, malalaman na natin kung saan tayo maglalagay ng mga first seams natin, no? So, knowing that this one should be folded, and this one is folded, it's literally the same thing. And like I said kanina, yung outline natin is where the seam should be. This basically just leaves us with this 1, 2, and then 3 na edges. And then this just leaves us to basically know that this should be our first seams, no? So I'm just going to select these 3. So first select lang natin, left click, and then press and hold shift, left click ulit, and then left click, no? So I've selected my 3 edges already. So, ito na yan, no? Ito yung 3 na yon. So, lalagyan na natin siya ng seams. Now, to add our seams or to basically tell Blender na, uy, kailangan kong gupitin to. So, ang gagawin ko lang is right-click sa mouse natin. Right-click and then select Mark Seam. So, click lang natin yan. And then there we go. Kapag nakita nyo nang nag-red tong portion natin dito, that means there is a seam there. No? May seam na tayo dyan. So, that means when we try to unwrap this, alam ni Blender na, okay, kailangan kong gupitin part na to, and itong top, and then itong middle portion na to, this one should be interconnected together kasi magkadikit tong dalawa. Wala tayong seam dito. It looks like it needs to be folded, no? So, pwede na natin itong i-unwrap ngayon. Now, the question na lang is, do you think when we try to unwrap this part right here, itong whole dice ulit natin, if we try to unwrap this again, are we gonna be getting the exact same thing here already? Can someone answer me on that? Do you think we're gonna get this cut out already? Sa tingin nyo, makukuha na ba natin tong cutout? No, yes, tama. Hindi pa. Bakit? No? So, malalaman natin ngayon. Let's try to unwrap this. No? So, I'm just going to be unwrapping this na. No? So, to unwrap this, no? Ito yung pinaka-important din. How do we unwrap? No? So, of course, select natin lahat. No? By pressing A again. Select natin lahat. Press natin A. And then, press ko lang U. Oh, okay, so U. This basically all opens up this window right here. Itong UV mapping window natin. And then, we're just going to select unwrap. Oh, so, select natin itong unwrap. There we go. Now, yes, tama tayo, no? Hindi pa. Hindi pa siya kaitsura dito sa dice cutout natin. Bakit? Kasi kulang pa tayo sa seams. Paano natin alam na kulang pa tayo sa seams? Kasi itong portion lang natin na taas ang nilagyan natin ng seams. Nasaan tong ano? Nasaan dito sa baba, di ba? So, kulang pa tayo. No? Kulang pa tayo. Nasa dito, sa mga gilid natin. But, here's what we can confirm though. So, let's try to select itong portion natin dito. It says here, no? Okay, so ito na yun. So, itong part natin na yun, ito yun. So, tama tayo, no? Na meron tayong cutout natin dito. And then, look, there's looks like na may kadugtong siya. So, when I try to select this, notice ko ano yung sinelect niya. Ito. Ito yung sinelect niya. So, that means, kung ano yung nakakonect dito, so, itong part na to is basically it, no? So, in a sense, tama na tayo. Tama na rin tayo sa pag-add natin ng seams for this, for the middle part and then tong top part natin. So that means tama na tayo kasi itong portion natin dito, na-cut out siya. Tapos itong part lang natin dito is kadugtong pa rin niya itong gitna, no? Kadugtong pa rin niya. So we're on the right track already. We're on the right track. Kailangan na lang natin dadagdagan ng mga seams pa, no? So balik ulit tayo sa edge select by pressing 2 again. And then mag-add na tayo ng try natin gawin tong left and then right portion natin dito. Now, itong left and right portion natin dito, this is completely symmetrical, no? Kasi literally the same lang rin naman yan, no? It's symmetrical. So, knowing this, knowing what seams are, again, no? So, basically, seams basically connects 2 and 2 together. Alam na natin na itong portion natin dito is literally this 3. This basically leaves us with these next 2 naman, itong left and right natin. Knowing this, knowing na itong part natin dito, if we try to fold this, ito yung magiging shape niya, di ba? So knowing that, malalaman na natin na itong seam natin dito and itong seam natin dito sa part na to is literally the same. Wala na tayong kailangan gawin dito sa top portion natin dito. It's literally the same eh. Kasi if we try to fold this, magko-connect tong edge natin dito tsaka ito, right? Magko-connect yung dalawa na yon. So, wala tayong kailangan galawin dito. Tama na to. So, knowing that this and that connects together and then same case din dito kasi symmetrical nga, di ba? Same case lang natin dito. This just leaves us with this part right here. Itong last part natin dito. Yung ito, tsaka ito. No? So, that just leaves us with that. So, that means, knowing that na since alam natin na outline to, ibig sabihin, itong parts natin na to, this should also be a seam, no? So select natin to and then select natin to. And then right-click tayo again, mark seam. There we go. And then repeat lang natin siya dito sa kabila. Click natin to and then click natin to. Right-click, mark seam. Okay. So that is our seam, no? Now, question ulit tayo. Let me ask a question again. Do you think when I try to unwrap this whole thing again, makukuha na kaya natin to? Makukuha na kaya natin to? What do you think?
Parang hindi pa kasi.
Hindi pa? Hindi pa kaya? Ano pa? Not yet? Ano pa? Any thoughts pa? Ano other thoughts pa? Any other thoughts? Lahat ba agree na not yet? Lahat ba agree? Lahat ba agree na hindi pa? Lahat ba agree? Does everyone agree? Yes or no? Okay, so I guess silence means yes, no? So lahat kayo agree na hindi pa ito yung magiging shape natin. Now, let's actually see. Tingnan natin. So press natin A, natin ulit to select everything and then press natin to U. to unwrap. Mukhang mali kayo ng estimate. Tapos na tayo, no? Bakit? Ang tanong is bakit, no? Bakit gano'n? Bakit tapos na tayo, sir? Kasi ang nagawa lang naman natin itong part natin dito, itong left and then itong right and then itong top portion natin. Nasaan na to sa baba? Remember guys, no? You're gonna have remember, we're trying to make a dice, no? Try in your mind, try to envision it, how it will fold together already, no? So knowing this, knowing our seam setup right here na, okay, may cut tayo dito, may cut tayo dito, may cut tayo dito, and then alam natin na itong part natin dito, itong left, middle, right, saka itong top portion natin, magkakadikit sila. Knowing how it currently looks na, okay, looks like it can be folded together na kasi it's separated na tong mga portions natin dito. So that means they're safe na, no? So pagtingin naman natin dito sa baba, does it look like it's foldable na? Yes, no? So this one right here, itong part natin, that part right here, and then this part natin here is that part right here, no? And as you can see, wala tayong any sort of seams dito. Lahat, kapag when you try to unfold this, it's going to get this exact same na natin. Itong part natin, ayan, no? So I'm selecting this, ayun yung sinaselect niya, and then sinelect ko to, ayun, nandun siya, no? So, the whole trick with UV unwrapping is, especially when you're going to be using the dice concept, think using your imagination, no? Imagine nyo kung anong itsura ng current ng current seam setup nyo when it's going to be unfolded before you actually unwrap it sa software nyo. Imagine nyo muna kung ano yung magiging itsura nyo. My best tip for you is i-drawing nyo sa papel, no? So take note of where you put your seams, and then try to recreate that sa papel nyo. I-drawing nyo, no? So again, like I said, no, itong mga seams natin, it's literally the outline, no, or cutouts, no. So that's what you should remember about it, no. Seams are literally where it should be cut, or in a sense, it's going to be the outline, no. So that's the whole trick when it comes to UV unwrapping. Definitely a lot of mind work tayo dito because you're going to be using your imagination a lot, okay? You're going to be using your imagination a lot for UV unwrapping. Now, we're basically done na, no? So, this is our dice concept. Now, itong pinaka-important din. Ito yung pinaka-important natin sa UV unwrapping is trying to fit yung natin, yung nagawa natin na UV map to our grid here, no? Because like I said, kailangan natin mapagkasya lahat to dito sa grid natin. So, dito sa UV editor natin, you can easily press G to move it. Literally same movement tayo dito. Press G to move, R to rotate, and then S to scale. Now, sir, ano po yung use nun? Ang use kasi natin dito, kung bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng navigation natin dito, is basically laying out the canvas for us. No? Because like I said kanina, no, when it comes to UV unwrapping sa mga 3D artists, you're basically making the canvas for the texture artist. So ito na yung canvas natin. Ito na yung line art na gagamitin natin kung saan natin ipapatong yung colors natin. No? So when you're going to be fixing this thing, when you're going to be fixating yung yung UV map natin dito sa grid natin, try to position it to how you want it to be. No? Let's say, for this one, literally, since it's literally a dice lang naman, no? Literally a dice lang naman. Again, I can just center this one out. I can just center this one out and lahat naman uniform yung lahat uniform yung itsura, no? Lahat uniform yung itsura, lahat pantay-pantay. So that means pwede ko na tong i-export na. I can literally export this one. Ayusin ko lang, gitna ko lang to para just when I import it to my art software, madali ko nang mapapatungan ng kulay dito because like I said, pwede kong gawin ko design dito is a dice, no? So that's it, no? That's the whole trick with the positioning ng natin, ang mga UV map natin dito. Now, currently it doesn't matter that much. It doesn't matter that much for this one currently kasi it's a dice concept, no? So before we move on to the next concept, which is the cutout concept, let's try to save this let's try to save this UV map, no? And then let's try import it to a art software. Okay? So, gagawin ko lang natin is no need to select anything at all, no? Dito sa UV editor, no need to select anything. Just click on this one, UV. Ito, itong UV button natin dito. Click natin to, UV. And then sa pinakababa, select natin tong export UV layout. So select natin yan. And then you basically just save it anywhere. Na, let's say, gawa lang ako ng folder dito. Let's ilagay ko dyan. And then ito, pinaka-important. Okay? So, pinaka-important natin dito, click natin tong all UVs. And then, save it as PNG. Okay? Save it as PNG. And then, tong fill opacity, let's set it to 0. Para matitira lang na, na sa picture natin is yung outline ng ating UV map. Wala tong fill na to. Okay? Now, ito rin, ang pinaka-important dito sa UV mapping and sa UV unwrapping is yung size. Guys, pretty important to. Okay? So when you're going to be UV unwrapping or basically anything na that in regards to textures natin, always go for squared na textures. No? So kapag squared, ibig sabihin, square yung natin. So equal yung length and width natin. No? So 1024 by 1024, 565 by 565, dapat always equal ang length and width natin. Always in a square format ang textures natin. Okay? Always square format ang textures, pati rin yung UV unwrap na output natin. No? Same goes then after yung maglagay na ng texture sa, sa UV map nyo. Okay? So, let's stick with this 1024 by 1024. Okay na tayo dyan. You don't need 2K textures for this one, not unless gusto nyo. No? Much more high definition yung yung magiging output nyo sa texture nyo. But yun mas kayo lang mahihirapan din sa pag-actual design ng texture nyo. And then, of course, just name it. No? Just name it. I'm just gonna name it. Sige, name lang natin as cube-dice. Okay? So, export UV layout. Select natin yan. And then, export UV layout. And then, we're good. That's it. That is, na-export na natin siya. Hanapin ko na lang. And then, there we go. There is my cube. No? Notice nyo? Transparent siya. So, let's try to import it. I'm just gonna import it sa sa kahit anong software to, whether Photoshop, Clip Studio, any art software. No? So, I'm just gonna import it here. Gawa lang ako na import picture. Nope. This one. Okay. So, yan. Na-import ko na siya. Ganun na siya kadali. No? And then, of course, I can just literally itong part natin dito, let's separate it into a new layer. No? So, sa Photoshop, ganun din yun. Separate nyo na siya as a new layer. Lock it if you want. No? Lock it if you want. So, I'm just gonna lock that. And then, dito sa part natin, I turn off ko lang to. And then, gawin ko lang tong iba-iba ang kulay. No? So, paiba-iba ko lang yung kulay. Sige, ano ko nito? Gawin ko tong red. This one's gonna be red. This one's gonna be yellow. This one's gonna be green. It's gonna be blue, and then it's gonna be pink. Wait. Okay, never mind. Kala ko nasa maling layer ako. And then last one's gonna be brown. Okay, so that is basically it. That is my texture na, no? And then to import to basically save your texture na, of course, don't forget to turn off yung visibility ng UV map nyo. So, yung outline natin. No? So, make sure to turn that off. And then, yung visible nyo lang is itong, itong texture nyo. Not unless, yung kung trip nyo yung, yung ganitong thing. No? Kung gusto nyo trip nyo tong grid natin dito, siguro pwede nyo ibahin yung, sige, try natin. Palakihin ko konti yung, yung thing natin dito. Okay. We just style low. Okay. So let's just do that. Konting lang. Okay. So let's say keep ko yan. Let's say i-keep ko tong ganitong itsura, no? So let's say okay na ako dyan. Also, make sure din naka-transparent din yung natin. Actually, pwede rin namang hindi rin transparent, no? Kasi alam na nire-recognize naman na ng software natin na okay, ito yung ito yung UV map niya. Ito lang yung format na tatanggapin ko. Kung ano yung nakikita ko dito sa natin, na texture na sa loob ng dice na, itong sa UV map ko dito, yun lang yung kukunin ko na texture. Okay? So, it's up to you kung gusto niyo may kung gusto niyo may background or wala. Basta na-fill up niyo lang yung yung mga kailangan niyo i-fill up with with the thing here, and then you're good to go. And then save lang natin, save ko siya as PNG. Try ko dito. Cube, guys, text. Okay, click lang natin save. And then we're good to go. Lagay na natin siya dito, no? So balik na lang ako to layout. And then let's add a new material to this one. Add lang ako ng new. And then kakabit ko lang yung image texture ko na yon to whatever I did, no? So this one right here. So tingnan na natin, nakabit ko na siya. There we go. Did it follow my format? Tingnan natin, no? Oh, wait. Okay. So tingnan natin, no? So red, tama, nandito siya sa gitna. Yung yellow nandun, yung green nandun, yung blue, ayun, tama, nandun siya. And then pink and then brown, pink and then brown. Okay, so it did follow my texture, no? So there we go. That is your first texture, no? So ganun lang siya kadali, no? Ganun lang siya kadali. Tapos siguro pwede natin gawin na natin din tong roughness map. Ano ba yun? Kabit na rin natin siya as wait. Kabit natin tong color ramp natin. And then kabit natin siya dito, color to color, and then roughness. Okay. Okay, hindi masyadong Ayan, tapos nyo. There we go. We're getting some visibility na based on dun sa natin. But ganito lang rin yan, guys, no? If you have like super detailed textures, no? Like for example, dito nyo sa texture nyo na mismo ginawa yung mga dirt nyo, pwede nyo ikabit lang tong color ramp, no? Kabit nyo lang tong color ramp to basically adjust your roughness, no? So ganun lang yan, ganun kadali lang yan. No? So kapag itong black color stock natin, palapit siya ng palapit dito sa white natin, nagiging smooth siya. Tapos kapag itong white naman natin, palapit siya ng palapit dun sa black natin, nagiging rough siya. Okay? So literally, ganun lang yon. It's literally that easy. No? So yeah, there we go. That is the first concept natin, yung dice concept natin. Okay? So, are we clear so far on that? Klaro ba tayo dito sa dice concept? Are we clear? Okay. So, we're clear on that. So, next na tayo is cutout concept. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna duplicate this one again. It's gonna duplicate this one. I'm gonna remove this. Let's start new again. Start new ulit tayo. So the next naman natin is the cutout concept. No? So itong cutout concept natin, but nawawala ang aking pala. Okay, so let's try to select everything na muna natin dito. Let's try to delete yung mga seams natin because like I said, we're gonna be starting fresh, no? So to delete your seams, literally same process lang din. So of course, number one, select your seams and then right click. And then yung pagka right click natin, let's select tong clear seam natin. Clear seam. And wala na yung seams natin, no? So it's literally that easy. Or pwede natin press A and then clear seam. Ayan, tanggal na lahat. No? So okay na tayo. Okay? So, next natin is yung cutout concept natin. So, let me just exit this out. So, next natin is cutout concept. No, as the name suggests, cutout concept. So, we're gonna be cutting things out. No? Ika-cut out natin yung mga certain orientations natin. So, we're basically just going to cut out the, kung nasan yung front, kung nasan yung left, kung nasan yung right, kung nasan yung top, kung nasaan yung back, and kung nasaan yung bottom. So that's basically the whole concept of the cutout concept. So let's do some bit of editing here. Let's say ganyan siya. Okay. Oops. Okay. Let's say ganyan siya, no? Oops. Ganyan. Okay. Let's say ganyan siya. No? Let's say ganyan yung model ko. It's more complex na compared to this one. So the thing with cutout concept, like I said, no, certain faces tayo. Certain faces. So, unahin natin tong front view. No? So, we're basically going to cut this portion out lang. Itong pinaka-front lang natin dito, no? So, ang gawin natin is we're knowing that we are going to be using the cutout concept, alam na natin kung saan natin lalagay yung mga seams natin, which is basically around this portion natin, itong front portion natin, no? So, I'm going to be doing that, no? So, select ko lang yung mga edges natin dito, or pwede natin gawin, select natin to. Actually, no, wag pala to. Kasi medyo delikado rin, no? So, edge na lang tayo. Stick with edges pa rin tayo, and then we're just gonna select yung around dito. So, select lang natin itong around, and then right-click natin, and then mark seam tayo. Okay? So, that basically leaves us with this part right here. Now, the thing with cutout concept, na compared din sa ano natin, sa first concept natin with the dice, preferably, once you make your cutout, i-unwrap nyo na siya kagad. I-unwrap nyo na siya kagad, and then ihiwalay nyo siya dito sa UV editor, and then we're gonna be fixing that later na lang. No? So, select ko tong part natin dito, and I'm gonna press U to unwrap it again. No? This basically leaves us with this one right here, no? So, yan. There is our cutout. But may problem tayo. Mali yung orientation niya. So, that's gonna be a bit of a problem. So, kailangan natin i-fix yan, no? Actually, we can fix that later na lang, no? So, let's try to move this on the side muna. No? So, lagyan lang natin siya sa gilid, and then let's work with the rest. No? So, same case lang rin tayo dito. Ganun din naman siya, no? Symmetrical. So, bitin lang natin siya dito. And then, right-click, mark seam. Okay, that looks good. So, unwrap rin natin to. U, and then unwrap. Okay, so there's our thing. Now, don't scale it just yet, guys, no? Wag nyo munang i-scale. Once we've completely unwrapped our thing na, saka natin siya gawin. Now, etong part natin dito. Now, this is already a segue na rin sa sa third concept natin, which is the candy wrapper concept. Okay? Now, the thing with a candy wrapper, di ba? Kapag sa candy wrapper natin, literally, kapag in-unwrap natin ang isang candy wrapper, literally, and then we lay it out on flat, magiging literally 2D plane lang siya, di ba? When we try to unwrap a candy wrapper, it's going to be a 2D plane. So, the thing with the candy wrapper concept sa 3D software, to do that, you literally only need one seam. Excuse me. You literally only need one seam lang, no? Kasi we're just going to be laying it out flat sa ating seam, no? So, itong part natin dito, we can already unwrap this then. We can unwrap this then. We can unwrap that then by pressing that. Pero ang problem natin, it's gonna look something like this, no? It looks weird, right? Ang hirap din i-texture niyan kasi pabilog eh. So, dito natin gagamitin si cutout concept. We just need really one seam lang, no? Now, when you're gonna be using the candy wrapper concept, you have to make sure na kung saan mo ilalagay yung seam na for this concept, kung saan mo siya ilalagay, make sure na hindi siya makikita ng camera mo. Kasi madaling makita yan eh. Lalo na kapag meron tayo super detail yung texture mo, makikita yan, no? So, best to hide that seam, no? Something hindi makikita ni camera. So, let's say, pwede natin siya lagay dito, no? Pwede natin lagay dito sa ilalim, no? Pwede ko lagay siya dito. Kasi hindi siya makikita kasi nasa baba lang naman siya. So, I'm just gonna right-click that and then mark seam. And then, I'm gonna be trying to unwrap this again. And then, okay? So, here's a unique trick din na nakita nyo siguro kanina pero hindi ko pa nabanggit, no? Is I only press one button and then ganyan siya. Na-select na niya kagad yung certain portions lang niya kung saan siya nakaiwalay. Same case with this one, So, L and then L, no? So, literally, I'm just selecting certain portions lang by pressing one button, by pressing L. So, when you have your seams na, kapag may mga seams na tayo, instead na multiple na, select mo ng multiple ganyan, if they're already in one certain cutout, like for example this one, you can just easily press L, no? So basically, when you press L, it's going to select loose parts, no? Yung mga loose parts na yon, it basically covers everything na kung saan nagko-cover tong seams natin. Kung hanggang saan niya kino-cover, no? So press lang natin L and then there we go, no? Para madali niyang ma-select kagad, no? So yan. So same case lang din dito, press natin L And then I'm gonna press U again to unwrap, and then click natin to unwrap. And then there we go. As you can see here, no, from that circular abomination, we have this one singular strip lang, no? So, ang laki nang na-reduce natin, di ba? And then ang dali na nitong madali na siyang ano, ma-edit, madaling ma-texture, no? And it's already properly oriented na rin. So that's good na rin, no? So kapag hindi siya properly oriented, you're gonna have to readjust, no? So I keep saying that then, no? Proper orientation. So yung mga proper orientation na yan, that again, that differs from artist to artist then, because kayo na ang bahala dito eh. Kayo na bahala when you're trying to position this one on how you want this one to be textured, no? So currently kasi, itong portion natin dito, ganyan siya, no? So itong part natin dito, naka-reverse to. Naka-reverse siya, oh. So let's say I want to work with this specific orientation. When I'm going to be coloring, pag ganito yung orientation na gusto ko. So, gagawin ko, rotate ko lang to by 90 degrees, no? So I did that by literally selecting this one and then press ko lang R and then rotate ko lang to by 90 degrees. So, and then yeah, there we go. It's already properly oriented. No? It's following that already. Same case with this one. I'm gonna rotate this one. Gusto ko pag ganun din siya, pag ganun din. I'm gonna rotate this again by 90 degrees. Literally, it's the exact same thing. Now, another thing to take note then is when you're gonna be working with something symmetrical, no? Like this one, this portion right here, and then portion natin dito, itong front and back natin. So these two are perfectly symmetrical. So the key here, lalo na if they're going to be having the exact same textures, the key here, if you're gonna be moving one, you have to move the other as well, no? So always in tandem sila kapag mag-move together, no? Kapag mag-move, always magkasama sila, okay? Para hindi tayo mahirapan, okay? So there we go. That is how you properly position things, no? And then of course, maganda rin, spread out mo rin tong ano nyo, yung itong mga thing mo dito. Spread it out para may proper na spacing tayo, hindi tayo basta-basta mag-overlap ng mga color natin while we are texturing this, no? So, there we go. That is the cutout concept and the candy wrapper concept. So, ito yung cutout concept natin. Ito yung candy ito yung cutout, and then ito yung candy wrapper. No? So candy wrapper, again, you only need one seam, and then for the cutout concept, you just separate things via orientation. So from front, right, left, back, etc., etc. Okay? So yun na yun. Those are the three concepts that you just need to remember while you are UV unwrapping. Now, siguro, ito yung pumapasok sa utak nyo ngayon. Sir, ano po yung kailangan namin gamitin? Any of these three. Actually, itong tatlong concept na yan, it's actually a bad idea to just stick to one singular concept. Make use of all three. Okay? You have to make use of all three concepts for UV unwrapping. Okay? Kasi, if you just stick to one, like for example, itong dice concept natin dito, if you just stick to one and then in-apply nyo siya dito, it's bound to look weird talaga. And kayo lang ang mahihirapan sa pag-UV unwrap. Kasi, if I applied this part right here with the dice concept, mahihirapan ako yung texture kasi liliit tong part natin dito kasi it's going to, like I said, we need to maximize this whole space lang. No? We have to maximize this whole space. So, knowing that, I have to think carefully kung ano yung mga kailangan ko gawin. So, I think for this sense, yes, pwede ko magamit dito yung tatlong dice concept ko dito because I can probably separate this left part natin dito and then the right part natin dito as a cutout concept, and then for this front and then dito sa top portion natin, I can do a basic dice concept where I have this two interconnected together. Now, itong groove ko dito, this groove right here, pwede kong gawin tong pwede kong ihiwalay ito kasi pwede kong gawin dito is literally just the same color as my other parts right here. So, pwede kong gawin tong candy wrapper concept where I can just select on one edge dito and then mark it as a seam. and then unwrap it to get one singular na strip lang, no? So, the deal with here, sige, demo ko na nga to, sige. Bonus ko na to, no? Demo ko na to, itong part natin dito. I-demo ko na tong part na to. So, I'm just going to hide everything. Focus tayo dito sa part natin dito. Okay? So, oops. Okay, so focus tayo dito sa part natin dito. Where is this? Asan to? Okay. Let's just focus on this one, okay? So, actually, before I move on, sabihin ko na yung activity nyo. Paano gagawin yung activity nyo, no? So, i-demo ko na rin to, okay? So, we're actually done now. We're completely done now with our discussion, no? So, ano na tayo? We already covered this one, saving UV maps. We already covered that one na. So, okay, so ito, reference lang yan. Ito, so activity 7, texturing. So, again, download nyo lang yung activity 7 file natin. Nandun na siya sa Big Sky. And then, using UV unwrapping, texture the model and make it your own. Okay? So, next natin, you may add additional parts to it if you choose to do so, but that is entirely optional, no? Okay, that's entirely optional. Ang i-grade ko dito is how you textured your model, no? And paano yung itsura ng UV map nyo. Does it look okay? Does it look dirty? Does it look messy? Does it look clean? So on and so forth, okay? Now, huwag kayo mag-alala rin, no? I should see at least 2 objects na UV unwrap, no? So, 2 object lang kailangan yung i-UV unwrap. Mamili lang kayo kung anong gusto nyong object na gusto nyo gawin. Kung gusto nyo itong body lang, tsaka itong hull, sure, why not, no? Kung gusto nyong i-unwrap lahat, sure, okay. Plus points sa akin sa yun kung ganun, no? Kung lahat i-unwrap nyo, that's good, no? That's good practice. So, minimum lang of 2 objects na kailangan nyong i-unwrap, okay? Of course, other than that, no, other than unwrapping that, give the model a suitable scene as well, no, and render it. Use any output size you find suitable for your scene. So kayo may control kung gaano kalaki yung output size nyo. And then, of course, like I said nga dito, no, give the model a suitable scene, no. Kung ginawa niyo texture sa kanya, medyo rustic, gawin niyo medyo rustic din yung background niyo. Gawa kayo ng mga model na parang sa tingin niyo magma-match sa model niyo, no. So, 'yon. And then, of course, ito yung mga kailangan nyo i-submit, no? So, number 1, kailangan ko ng rendered scene. And then, of course, number 2, yung UV maps ng mga in-unwrap nyo na objects, okay? So, again, balik tayo doon. Ano ba yung UV maps nyo? It's literally the exact same. Wala na naman yung cube ko. Ito ba yun? Ito. So, yung gusto kong makitang output ng in terms of how the UV map should look like, excuse me. Ganito ang gusto ko makita. Okay? So, where teka. Wala ang aking... Okay, edit mode. Okay, so ganito ang gusto ko makita. No? So, you have your texture. And then, visible din to. Itong UV map nyo. Itong grid, no? Itong grid. So, actually, tanggalin ko muna itong textures. No? Actually, ganito na lang, no? So, teka, open ko lang itong art program ko. So, ganito ang gusto kong makita na output nyo in terms of what you need to submit for your UV map, no? So, ganito. Bakit? Okay. So, ganito ang gusto kong makita. Ayan, no? So, you have, visible yung outline ng UV map nyo. So, yan. And then, of course, nakapatong itong line art nyo dito sa texture nyo, no? So, ito yung texture ko. Ipapatong nyo lang to. Ipatong nyo lang tong UV map nyo. Okay? So, patong nyo lang yan and then save nyo na siya as is. No? So, yun yung isasubmit nyo sa Big Sky in terms of the UV map. No? So, of course, number code it. If it's UV map 1 and then UV map 2, etc., etc. Okay? So, there we go. Ito yung model, like I said, no? So, this one's the peg yung original model, and then ito yung textured version ko. No? So everything here is all UV unwrapped, no? Everything here is all UV unwrapped. So apply everything that you have learned so far in terms of adding texture, no? And then i-apply nyo rin yung mga various lighting techniques na pwede nyo gawin. Like for example, dito, no? In-apply ko dito yung emission lights, no? From the advanced lighting discussion sa big sky, no? So, there we go. Literally, texture this model. No? This will be the hardest activity that you'll ever be doing throughout this term. Ito na yung pinakamahirap. Ito na yung pinaka-big challenge sa buong term na to. Not the finals, mas madali pa yung finals compared dito. Ito na yung talaga yung pinakamahirap na gagawin nyo for this term. Okay? Are we clear on that? Are we clear on that?
Here po, sir.
Okay. So, knowing all of that, that is your activity 7. Let's proceed na to the demo. No? Actually, before I move on to the demo, sige, i-discuss ko rin pala yung mga 3ds Max users. No? Let's say, ito na yung natin. No? Ito na yung cube natin. I'm just going to press lang itong natin dito. Itong 3ds Max ko, open ko lang. So, okay. So, let's say i-export na natin to. No? I-export na natin tong model natin dito with the, with the outline. No? So, tanggalin ko lang muna. Tanggalin ko lang. Wait. Viewer node. Wait. Teka. Wala na ako. Teka. Where am I? Okay. Tanggalin ko muna to. So, this is my... nasa rendered ko. Material preview ko lang ako. Okay. So, where is my thing? Bakit wala to? Teka. Okay, so let's say ay magpakita ng UV map ko, but that's okay. So, let's say okay na ako dito, no? Okay, nagawa ko na yung UV map ko, na-unwrap ko na siya, no? So, basically I already came up with, you already have your this thing exported already, no? You already have this thing exported already. Ang gagawin na lang natin is i-export na lang natin tong object natin dito. Pwede na natin diretsong export, no? So, gagawin lang natin is punta tayo sa file. Of course, select your model first, and then punta tayo sa file, and then punta tayo sa export, and then export natin siya as FBX. So, select natin yan. And then, ang kailangan nyo lang gawin dito is yung, select nyo lang tong limit to selected objects. Okay? So, selected objects para, since ito lang yung nakaselect kasi natin, yun lang yung i-export niya. And then, save it to where you want it. No? So, let's say, type this one. Cube Blender. Okay, so okay, there we go. Cube the Blender. And then, wala na kailang kailangan galawin dyan. So, you're all good. So, export as FBX na natin yan. Automatic naman na niyang, automatic na madidetect ni Blend ni 3ds Max yan. Hindi nyo na kailangan lagyan pa ng kung pwedeng diretso nyo nang ilagay yung texture nyo. So, we already have here na, so, ito na yung Cube Blender ko. So, as I open that, ito na yung cube ko, no? So I can literally just import na lang tong texture ko din sa din sa 3ds Max, and then kakabit ko na lang siya din sa model ko, din sa cube na yon, no? So I'll just wait for this. Tagal mag-load. Okay, there we go. So to basically import yung model natin, punta tayo sa file, and then punta tayo sa import, and then import natin. Okay? So import. So hanapin lang natin yung thing natin, yung in-import nyo na model, and it's this one. So click lang natin OK. It's gonna import here. So there's our cube, no? Now, dito sa natin, definitely wala na kayong kailangan galawin dito. Wala na kayong kailangan galawin. Pwede nyo lang pwede nyo naman i-zero out na lang to para nandoon siya sa gitna, no? So gagawin na lang natin, add na lang tayo ng texture, no? We're just gonna be adding our texture. Add lang tayo ng physical material, and then add na lang natin itong cube dice natin. Okay? And then this one, lagay natin sa base color map. And then lagay na lang natin siya dito. And then there we go. Mali lang yung orientation natin kasi yung orientation natin dito, ayun magandito siya. Nandito sa right, dito sa yung X natin. Oops, open natin. Wait. Boom. Okay. So as you can see here, so notice nandito yung X natin, nandun yung Y natin. Mali lang yung orientation natin. As you can see here, nandito na yung X, nandito na yung Y. It's literally the exact same thing lang. Mali lang yung orientation, no? So, but that's about it, no? Yeah, ganun lang siya. Hindi nyo na kailangan ulitin pa hindi nyo na, wala kayong kailangan ilalagay. Once ma-export nyo na yung once ma-export nyo yung model from Blender, diretso import nyo na siya dito, and then apply nyo lang yung ginawa nyo na texture. Automatic naman na mababasa ni 3ds Max yun. No? Wala na kayong kailangan ilagay pa. No? Kasi manonotice nyo kasi dun sa natin, dun sa, limutan ko na. Dun sa PowerPoint natin, meron din ako PowerPoint for 3ds Max. No? So, it's going to be completely up to you if you want to do UV Unwrapping's 3ds Max. I would highly not recommend it kasi sobrang sakit sa ulo nun. But if you're really dedicated sa 3ds Max, sure, nandun yun. Nandun lang yung discussion doon. Andun lang yung instructions ko doon. They're all pretty straightforward na. Napakadali ng dali. Madali naman siyang maulit. No? Pero ang problema ko lang kasi sa UV Unwrapping ng 3ds Max is super tedious niya. Sobrang tedious niya. And unlike kay Blender, where we can freely just remove yung mga natin, mga scenes natin, sa 3ds Max, we have to reset everything, no? So sa 3ds Max, literally, ang problem doon, you have to already know where would you like to put your scenes, no? So, yun ang problem. Kasi once na magkamali ka and you're too far ahead na hindi na kayang ma-undo by Control Z, sad to say na you have to redo, no? You have to redo everything again. So that's the very bad part kay 3ds Max when it comes to UV Unwrapping. Sobrang arte niya. No? Sobrang arte niya sa UV Unwrapping. Why can it not be as simple sa other software like Maya? No? So Maya, napakadali lang rin eh. Pareho lang siya kay Blender. Pero 3ds Max sobrang arte. So, again, what I said, I would highly recommend just use Blender if you're UV Unwrapping. Okay? So, ganun din sa finals nyo, guys. No? I would highly suggest kung mag-UV Unwrapping kayo, dito na lang kayo sa Blender. Huwag nyo nang pahirapan sarili nyo. No? So, yeah, there we go. Ganun lang siya kadali. Okay? So, delete na natin to. Move on na tayo dito. Demo ko na to, no? Let me demo na. Okay? So, itong part natin dito. So, paano ko to paano ko to, how do I say this? Imutan ko na. Paano ko to i-UV unwrap? Na okay, of course, guys, wag niyong pakialaman tong mga blue na to. Don't mind that. Kasi itong model na to, ginawa ko pa sa C4D. Ewan ko kung bakit may ganito sa Blender ko. But for sure, ganito rin eh. Sa 3DANI ko may ganyan din eh. I have no idea kung bakit ganyan yan. Galing kasi to sa C4D siguro, probably doon. But yeah, so this is not a guide, no? Hindi to guide to sa scenes nyo. Don't mistake that. Huwag nyo i-follow to. If pinollow nyo to as a guide for your scenes, kayo lang lalo ang mahihirapan, no? Mahihirapan lang kayo. Okay? So, to do this, I can probably separate this into parts, no? Kasi itong part natin dito, as you can see here, this one is separated by a groove, no? So, alam naman natin, itong part natin dito, this part right here, itong part natin dito, it's literally it's a separate part na talaga. Pwede natin gamitin yung candy wrapper method natin dito. So let's just find something na hindi basta siya makikita. So let's probably make it here dito sa pinakababa. So press ko lang yung 2 for the edge and then select ko lang to and then right click, mark seam. Okay? So next naman is I have to select everything dun sa natin, no? I have to separate this certain groove talaga. I have to separate it. So ang pwede kong gawin, I can separate it from here. Kaso baka naisip ko na pwede kong two separate colors. So siguro gagawin ko this certain strip natin, itong sa pinakababa na lang yung sa separate ko. So ang gagawin ko, I have to separate this. Let's move here. Okay, para makita niyo. So, ang gagawin ko, I'll just select yung certain edge ko dito and then press and hold Alt lang ako sa next nakatabi na edge na dito to basically select this edge loop, no? So, select niyo yung edge loop na yon and then I'm going to go to right click and then mark seam. Okay? So, let's just double check. Okay? Lahat ba na-cover siya? Check lang natin. Ito yung red natin, no? If you see red, that means there is a seam na there already, no? So let's just double check. Double check. Okay, it's looping around. Okay, it's looping around, it's looping around. Okay, so good na tayo doon. Dito naman tayo sa kabila. Okay, so sa kabila, ganun din. So Alt left click and then right click tayo, mark scene. So okay, we're basically good. Now let's try to unwrap this one already by using yung loose parts nga natin, no, by pressing L, no. So ayan. Ibig sabihin, walang nagkalat, ibig sabihin, it's properly separated na via the seam, no. So gagawin ko na lang is I'm going to unwrap this one and then I'll just put it aside for now. So press ko lang U, unwrap it, and then ayun na siya, oh. Isang singular na strap lang siya. Very, very minimal. Hindi ko na siguro to i-edit much kasi it's literally just a straight line and most possibly barely naman siya makikita. Possibly nga baka mamaya black lang ikulay ko. I-black lang ikulay ko diyan eh. So, let's just put that aside for now. Okay? So, that's one part done, no? Well, that's one part done. That's one partition done, no? So, we still have this two parts right here, no? Excuse me. Okay. So, next natin gagawin, since this one's already separated, let's try to unwrap. Itong unahin natin. Kasi this one is much more complex. Unahin natin itong mas madali. Itong part natin dito. So, let's try to use L and then try to unwrap it. Kasi ito na yun. No? Ito na yung part natin dito. Ito, separated naman na siya. Wala naman naliligaw. Okay. So, let's try to unwrap this one. Let's see how it looks like. Okay. So, it looks kind of off pa. No? It looks a bit off. So, ang pwede kong gawin is there are a number of ways here. Dito na papasok yung kung paano niyo siya i-design. So, kung naiisip yung design, siguro, itong top portion natin dito, itong top portion is a different color compared to this one's right here. Pwede kong paghiwalay itong gilid na to, itong dalawang gilid na to, and then have this one as just separated on its own. No? So that's what I can do then. Or, pwede ko rin isang singular color, I can use a dice cutout, and then just have this part right here, the seams, no? Itong part natin dito, as the seams, no? So literally a number of ways niyo pwedeng i-unwrap to. So pwede niyo gamitan ng cutout na concept or pwede rin dice concept, no? So it's going to be completely up to you. So let's do something easy lang. So let's do something easy, madali lang. So I'm just going to use the cutout concept na lang for this one, okay? So what I'm gonna do is unahin ko muna tong certain parts natin dito. This part's right here. Itong parts natin. So separate ko to as a cutout. I'm going to use tong edge select natin by pressing 2 and 2. Ayan. Okay. So, saselect ko lang tong part natin dito. This part right here. And then this part right here. I'm just going to select yung parts ko dito. Okay. And then this one. Then this one. And then this one. Be careful lang barely nyo makikita kasi yung yung visibility ng line nyo dahil dun sa blue na edges na yan. So, konting challenge na rin yan, no? So, okay, I selected everything na. I'm just going to right-click again and then mark seam, okay? So, currently, it looks sort of good naman na, no? So, I can probably try to unwrap this. So, let's try to unwrap it. Tingnan natin kung itsura. Okay, so, nandun siya. So this is the left one, no? So okay, so it looks clean. It looks clean. It's properly oriented naman. So that's good. So next natin gagawin is okay, so let's also take note na meron pa pala tayo dito, no? Meron pa tayong something dito. Actually, we can maybe just have it. Actually, pwede natin isama natin siya dito. Pwede rin naman. See, actually no. Pwede naman natin just leave this one as a black color kung gusto natin. No, madali naman makulayan yan eh. So repeat na lang natin yun nandito sa kabila. Repeat lang natin. So I'm just literally pressing left click while holding shift para multiple selections. Okay. Okay. And then right click, mark seam. Okay. Does it oops. Okay, there we go. So, wala bang naliligaw? Wala ba? Okay, wala. Wala ba? Okay, wala. Okay, so that's good. So, next natin, press ko lang yan by pressing L and then U to unwrap. Okay, so nandun siya. So let's move it right around here. No? So it's literally just the same size lang dun sa kanina. No? So ayusin lang natin to. Tapat ko lang siya dito para malinis tingnan yung ano ko, yung UV editor ko. Okay, so ayusin nyo lang siya. Try to separate things. No? Kapag may symmetrical, try to match it. No? So tayo dyan. Okay, so that's one part done. Next naman natin itong parts natin dito. Okay? So, ito naman part natin dito. Let's do this one. Kasi may seam naman na tayo dito. So, it's already cut out already here. So, let's select up. Let's select that one, that one, that one, that one. Ano lang to? Ang tedious part lang sa UV unwrapping is you have to have a lot of patience. No? So, mark seam. Okay, there we go. So, knowing that, cut out na tong partition natin dito. No? So, let's just check kung may kulang pa ba tayo. So, let's try to, press on the 3 and then L. Okay. So, if I try to unwrap this, ganito siya magiging itsura. No? So, sa case ko dito, I can probably minimize this part right here. Kasi sa model na to, hindi naman makikita tong part na to eh. Hindi ko naman makikita tong part na kasi nakatago na siya dito sa it's not that one. Nakatago na siya dito, no? Barely na siya makikita. Hindi siya makikita, no? So I can probably have this one as a cut out on of its own tapos naka-scale down na lang siya para yun nga, no? Ma-maximize natin yung buong grid natin. So knowing that, ito lang yung lalagyan ko ng seam. Itong part lang natin dito kasi ito lang yung connecting niya, no? So this part right here, and then right-click tayo, and then mark seam. Okay? So, I think that should be enough. So, tingnan natin to. So, press natin C3. Ayan, okay. So, wala namang naliligaw. Okay, let's try to unwrap it. Tingnan natin kung ano itsura. Okay, so ganun na siya, oh. Ganun na siya. It's slightly better na, no? Much better na, much more easier to handle na in terms of texturing, no? So, papapalitan lang natin dyan is yung orientation natin. No? So, tabi ko lang siya dyan. Now, itong part natin dito, this part right here, ito na yun, ito na yung natitira. So, let us do, wait, may kulang pa tayo. Ito pa pala, no? Lagyan natin ito ng seams, no? Kasi, sinasama ba niya yung nandito sa, natin sa may kasama ng groove, no? So, let's separate this part here then, no? Di ba pala siya fully separated, no? So, ito lang naman. So, there we go. Right-click tayo, mark seam. Okay. So let's try to use press 3 again for face select, press L. Okay. So hindi naman nakasama, wala naman naliligaw. Okay, that looks good. So press lang natin U, unwrap. Okay, nandun siya. Oh. Ito na yung ilalim. So tabi lang natin siya doon. There we go. So we fully unwrap na this half right here, no? We're already almost done na. We're almost done now. We've already completed this part right here, no? Kasi this one right here, notice nyo, no? This one, if you notice, this one uses the dice concept, no? Kasi we have here a folded part natin dito, no? We have folding parts natin dito. There we go, no? So it's actually a mixture of a cutout and dice concept, no? Because like I said, make use of all three concepts while you are UV unwrapping, no? Yung tatlong concept lang na yun talaga ang pinaka-importante to basically how to unwrap anything, no? And then of course, make use of your imagination as well, okay? So, we're basically done with this part na, no? Actually, no, hindi pala. Ito pa pala, itong face natin dito, no? So, let's try to tingnan natin kung ano itsura nito. So, ito yung natitira natin sa part natin dito eh. So, yun, no? So, this part right here, magkadikit pa rin siya dito sa part natin dito. So, tingnan natin kung ano itsura. Ito pala siya, no? So, try natin unwrap kung ano yung magiging itsura niya. Okay, it looks weird, no? So, we can probably do what concept dito. Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what concept, ano pwedeng gawin natin dito? Is it dice? Is it cut out? Is it candy wrapper? Ano sa tingin niyo pwede natin gawin na concept? Anyone? 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 Any takers? Anong concept sa tingin niyo? Anong concept sa tingin niyo pwede natin gawin dito? Is it dice? Is it cut out? Is it candy wrapper? What do you think? What do you think, guys? What do you think? Wala, no clue. So, cut out. Yes, pwede rin naman cut out, but there is a much more better concept for this one. We've already did this din kanina, no? We've already did this kanina into one of these objects, no? So, anyone? No? So, the answer is, pwede natin gamitin is literally candy wrapper concept because in a sense, it's literally just the same as the groove, no? Iba lang yung orientation niya. It's literally just the same as the groove, no? So we can just use one seam again, no? So pick lang natin to, siguro same place na rin natin doon. And then mark seam tayo, no? And then let's try to unwrap this again. Tingnan natin kung ano yung itsura. Unwrap. Okay, so it looks weird pa rin, no? It looks weird pa rin. Kasi it looks ito ang problem natin. Kasi may nga pala tayo dito, may edge pala tayo dito. Okay, so tama pala si Alicia, no? Yes, tama, pwede natin gamitin din si cutout, no? Pwede natin gamitin din si cutout. So, gagawin lang natin, instead na nga, tama nga pala, no? Ayos to, Alicia, no? So, props, no? Good for observation, no? So, delete na lang natin to, gamitin na lang natin siya as, gamitin na lang natin siya as cutout concept, no? So, we're just going to basically separate it via the corners na lang natin dito, no? So, select natin to, and then mark seam natin yan, dun naman sa kabila. Okay, there we go. Kasi paano nga pala to, no? Almost pa-insert nga pala to. So, mark seam. So, yun. And then, dito na lang sa taas. This part here. Mark seam. And then, this part here. And then, mark seam. Okay, so I think that should be sufficient na. Kasi itong shape natin dito, pwede naman na as is naman yan, ano? So, kapag ganyan, actually, yes, pwede naman cut out. Pwede rin naman siguro yung no? But I think masyado nagpo-cover masyado ng space yung yung tawag doon, yung candy wrapper. Okay, so tama, good choice nga to, no? Good choice na cut out to. So, press lang natin yung L to separate this part. No, okay, so it looks good. Press natin U to unwrap. Ayun na siya. No? So, pwede naman natin to minimize mamaya. So, lagyan natin yan dyan. Lagyan natin to. Press natin L, and then U to unwrap. Andun siya. So, this one right here. This one is next. Press natin L, U to unwrap. Okay. Wait. Hindi pala to. Mali yung select to. This one. This one. L. Okay. U to unwrap. Just double checking. Okay, so ganyan siya. Medyo palingan siya, but I think that still looks okay pa rin naman kasi barely naman natin makikita to eh. Barely na natin makikita tong part natin dito. So, I think that should still be okay. Oops, tingnan natin kung ano yung part natin dito. Ano yung nagpapapaling dito? Kasi paling tong itong geometry ko dito. Kaya nagkagano'n. But that's okay. Hindi naman masyadong manonotice yun. Dito naman sa kabila. Dito sa part natin dito. Okay. Wait. But dito? Okay. Palpak tong ko dito. Yung typology ko dito. Teka, ayusin ko lang. Sige, ayusin na natin to. So, ayusin lang natin to, no? So, if you want to have a perfect straight line, ayusin natin yung topology ko dito. Okay, so ayusin natin, konting ayos lang. So, ang ko dito, saan yung, problema, babag out na ako. So, nasaan yan? Ito yun. Ayun, okay. So, aangat ko lang tong dalawang part na to. Okay, so ito yung paling. Okay. So, angat ko lang tong part. Snap ko lang siya as vertex. G to Z. Okay. So, that should fix things na. That should fix things. Okay. So, tingnan nga natin. You unwrap. Okay, yun. It fixed things na, no? So, let's go. Oops. Mali. Ito pa pala. Ito pa pala. Teka. This part right here pa pala. Okay. Okay. Now, yan. Okay na to. For sure. Okay na to, right? No, not this one. This one. This should be, okay. So, ayos na. Okay. So, good. That's good na, no? So, okay. So, that's 3 parts done. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Itong part na lang sa taas. So, there we go. Unwrap it. Ayusin lang. Okay. So, there's our group for these parts right here, no? So, ayusin lang natin. Indicate lang natin dito siya. And then, ito naman. Itong part natin dito. So, numerous ways ulit tayo dito. Pwede natin itong gawin ding dice concept, but I think sa tingin natin mahalo-halo to. Pwedeng may cut out tayo dito. Wala na tayong halos candy wrapper dito, no? Actually, wait, pwede pala tayo mag-candy wrapper dito kasi itong part natin dito, pwede natin gawin tong candy wrapper. So, itong part natin dito, pwede naman natin din tong gawin as dice concept, no? So, let's do something simple here. So, tingnan natin. Let's just select this part right here. Gawin nating sort of, itong part natin dito. Wait. Sige, separate muna natin tong part natin. Separate muna natin tong part natin dito. Okay. And then, what we're gonna do next is, ano yun natin siguro? Ano yun natin to? Sunod na rin natin to. We're just gonna repeat what we did here para over and done with na yan. Mark seam. Same goes for this one and then this one. Mark seam. And then unwrap each individual thing. Unwrap. Move natin siya dito. Isa-isa lang tayo. Work slowly. Ito lang talaga very time consuming to. So, unwrap din natin to. Okay, paling na naman. Ano nasan yung paling? Okay, fine. Hindi ko na ayusin yan. Let's stick with that one. Parang medyo unique din itsura. Medyo unique na rin yung itsura. Okay? So, this one. Unwrap. Paling na naman ako. Okay, that's okay. Para over and done with tayo sa demo. Okay? So, let's say, ganyan. Para medyo may konting uniqueness din tayo, no? So, but if you want to, definitely you might want to adjust din yung gaya ng ginawa ko kanina. So, you might want to arrange yung topology nun. Okay? So, next natin is this part right here nga natin. So, okay, so separate na tayo dito. So, let's try to unwrap this one. Tingnan natin kung ano yung itsura niya. So, yun na yung natitira, no? So, unwrap natin yun. Okay, it looks a bit weird, no? It looks weird. Medyo mahihirapan tayo texture niyan, no? So, pwede natin gawin, let's start small muna, no? So, I guess for this part right here, pwede ko gawin tong texture din, no? I can make this one a texture. Add ako ng siguro parang fake na mechanical textures dito, siguro, no? So, it's up to you. So, pwede kong cut out to. So, cut out concept tayo dito. And then, we go here. I think select ko na ba lahat? Okay, select ko na pala. And then this one. Okay, mark scene. Okay, wala ba na maliligaw? Okay. So this one, this should be good, no? So unwrap natin yan. Okay, so it's a straight line, no? So lagay lang natin sa gilid. And then this one right here, I guess pwede rin naman natin tong gawin na pwede rin naman natin tong gawin na ano ba ito? Ano po pwedeng gawin natin dito? Pwedeng cut out, pwedeng candy strip, no? Candy strip, candy wrapper. So, let's do candy wrapper na lang instead, no? So, mark seam tayo dyan. Hindi naman makikita yan, no? Actually, pwede rin naman dito para talaga hindi makikita. No? I think that's much better. I think much better. Wag na lang to. Dito na lang sa baba. Clear seam natin yan. Dito na lang. Hindi naman siya makikita. So, mark seam tayo dyan. But, medyo kulang pa to kasi we want to separate this particular portion ng front body natin dito. So, kailangan din natin cut out tong part natin dito kasi kailangan ihiwalay ko to eh. So, lagyan lang natin to ng seams. No? So, lagyan lang natin yan. Okay, mark seam. Tingnan natin kung ano yung itsura nito once we try to unwrap it. Unwrap. Okay, so it's a straight line. So, that's good. So, tabi lang natin siya somewhere dito. This one right here, tabi natin to sa gilid. Okay? Okay, so next natin is this part right here. So, ano ba pwede natin gawin natin dito? Ano ba sa tingin nyo pwedeng gawin natin? Pwedeng dice concept na lang. We can just do a cut right here. No? Pwedeng dice concept na lang. Tingnan natin kung ano yung itsura. So, mark seam natin yan. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, I think. Wait, ito pa pala. This part right here. And then this part right here. Mark seam. And then, yeah, I think that should be good. That should be good. Tingnan natin. So, I think this will work. Tingnan natin. Let's just double check everything. Sige nga, try natin i-unwrap. Unwrap. Okay, so, it's okay. It looks good, no? So, we're pretty much done na, no? So, I think may konting refinements pa na pwede. Siguro itong certain parts natin dito. Siguro, pwedeng i-cut out na lang siguro natin to. Pwede rin cut out, no? So, let's try to cut this out na lang para mas malinis tingnan. So, lagyan tayo ng mark seam dito. This part's right there. And then, those parts natin, let's just unwrap this one again. Okay, so it's a separate thing on its own. And then, i-unwrap ulit natin to para malinis yung itsura ng ating thing. Okay, so for this one, it still looks a bit off. No? So it still looks off. Ano pa pwede natin gawin dito? I think these parts right here, I think this should work pa rin naman well. Same orientation lang naman, medyo patagilid lang naman siya, no? But I think this should work pa rin naman. Okay? So, that is everything. Naka-unwrap na everything. Let's just try to fix this stuff, no? Let's just try to fix this stuff. So, unahin natin itong groove natin dito. So, isipin lang natin, let's put this one as color black, no? So, let's try to separate things out first. Unahin muna natin ito yung grooves natin. Unahin natin yung mga grooves. This part is for the leftmost groove, no? So let's just try to remember where things are, no? So this one, ito yung sa part natin, yung groove natin dito. This part here, ito yung sa this part here. And then let's just move it over here. And then next is, okay, that should be everything. Okay, what is this? Ano pong part natin? Dito sa part natin dito. Okay, this one's pretty important, fairly important to. So this part right here, I can maybe try to put this one over here para may note lang ako. This one over here. Okay. And then this one right here. Okay. So, ito na yung trick natin dito sa pag-organize ng mga UV map natin. Okay. So, the trick with organizing UV maps is enlarge the ones that has the most amount of detail that you want to put in. So, yung mga malalaking parts natin dito, you want to keep it as large as possible, no? As large as you can fit dito sa grid natin. So, sa case natin dito, ang mga major players natin dito in terms of texture is itong part natin dito, this part here, and then this part here. No? So, let's take note of that. So, using lang natin yung orientation natin dito. So, rotate ko lang to. So, 90. Okay. So, let's try to minimize this one as well. No? Minimize natin yan. We don't want to try to put as much attention to detail as the others natin dito. Kasi itong mga parts natin dito, pwedeng natin sobrang liit na lang yan. Tapos kukulayan na lang natin. No? So, next natin is, let's try to put this part natin dito. No? Para just in case na itong part natin dito, kasi itong top portion natin dito, this is literally connecting dito sa parts natin dito. No? So, let's try to move that one near here. No? So, let's just scale that down. Let's just try to fit no? Try to fit lang naman natin yung sa ano natin. Okay lang kahit hindi sobrang precise tong ano natin, itong part natin dito. So, let's just try to scale it pa. No need to be super precise. And then this one, since we want this to fit, ano natin yan? Ilagay natin siya dyan. Then, konting scale pa natin. Let's try to maximize as much as we can. Kasi ito yung, like I said, major players ng textures natin dito. So, let's just put it there. And then, as for yung nakalagay dito, pwede natin lagay natin to. Pwede natin lagay siya dito, no? So, lagay natin to. And then, rotate din natin to 90 degrees para tama yung orientation natin. Madaling ma-recognize. And then, let's just try to scale this down. And then, let's try to fit it in here, no? No need to put it as much, be careful na lang ako siguro dito. When I'm gonna be texturing this, I'm just gonna have to be very careful to not overlap things dito sa scene ko. Okay? Now, next is this one right here, no? This one right here, it's still technically a part of this, this object right here. So, ang pwede kong gawin dito is, I can have it, maybe have the same color, no? So, I can try to, actually, no, mamaya na to. Mamaya na. Lagay ko na yung mamaya. So, next naman natin, itong part natin, ito sa baba. This one, it's okay for this one to have very minimal detail kasi yun yan, hindi naman siya makikita eh. Not unless ipakita nyo talaga, no? So, but for me, I'll just put it somewhere over here. No? So, actually, no. Unahin ko muna itong malalaking parts kasi itong major players to. No? So, ito muna unahin ko. So, let's just indicate which one is which. So, ito yung nasa right portion niya dito. So, let me just select everything here and then scale this down a bit. So for this one, actually I can probably stick with this one, huh? I can probably stick with this orientation kasi since this one is properly scaled naman, and then if I want this one to be symmetrical, I can literally just split over yung kung ano man yung ginawa ko na texture dito into this one, no? So it makes sense na ganyan lang siya, na pwedeng ganyan, no? So we're pretty much good na on that part. Now, next one, itong part natin, nalimutan natin, no? Itong part natin dito, this one has very little detail, no? So, let's just try to group things together yung mga very minor details. Yung mga grooves, mamaya na natin gawin yan kasi very minimal part lang naman siya sa atin. So, this one right here, I can scale this down. Siguro same size lang rin sa likod kasi hindi rin naman siya makikita, no? So, I can probably scale this down to this size right here. I'll just, siguro lagay ko dito para medyo match siya dito sa kulay natin para madali siya makulayan, no? And then same goes with this one. So dito ko naman siya tatabi para alam ko na it's in relation with this one, no? So we're good on that part. Next natin, wait, let's just also double check na proper orientation. Okay, this one, medyo paling yung orientation niya, no? So, rotate ko lang to. Rotate ko lang tong part natin by 180. Okay, so, yeah, okay. So, this should be the orientation that I would want, no? Para madali ko ma-notice. Okay? So, next natin, last parts natin. This one right here, this one I still want to have some detail pa rin kasi visible siya sa camera. No? So, I'm gonna give this one, I'm gonna put this one at a slightly larger na portion compared sa mga grooves natin. So let's just put it there. I think this should be good enough naman now. No? So we just have to take note of that. So next natin, this part right here, this part is, saan to? Ayun, nandito sa portion natin dito. This one, I can just literally minimize this one as much as I can kasi hindi naman siya makikita. Literally, baka gawin ko lang black rin naman to. So, it's gonna minimize that as much as I can. Try to fit in dito. Okay lang kahit mali din yung orientation kasi literally cut out lang naman to and most likely puro base color lang to magiging result niyan. So, lastly, itong part na lang. This part, ano to? Ito yung groove natin, no? So, ito yung groove natin. Oops, lagay natin siya siguro somewhere dito. Lagay natin. So, rotate natin siya ng 90 degrees. And then, let's scale that down by pressing S. Then, lagay lang natin siya dito. Scale it a bit more. Okay, pababa. Okay, medyo lumaki ko. Malaki natin konti. Okay. So for this one, yeah, I think that should be enough na. No? I think that should be good enough naman. Okay. And then last part na ito. This part right here, lagay na lang natin siya dito sa ating part dito. Oops. Scale this down. Lagay natin siya dito. Scale it down pa. Oops. Andahan lang sa pag-scale. Okay. Scale up pa ito konti. I think this part right here, dito ko na lang siya sa ano. Dito sa part natin dito para maganda tingnan. So, rotate natin to as 90 degrees. Okay lang kahit mali orientation yan. And then, scale up pa natin to para slightly larger ba naman. Okay. So, there is our complete UV map of this specific body, or this specific part, no? So, yan. May bonus na kayo, no? May bonus na kayo kung if you followed along with me. Ito na, bonus na sa inyo tong UV texture na, tong UV map na to, no? You just need to texture this na lang. So, of course, you can't just save this ginawa ko na texture, no? And then incorporate it here. So, you're gonna have to redo everything that I did here, no? You're gonna have to redo everything. It doesn't work that way where I just post this UV map and then ilagay nyo sa, sa model nyo. That doesn't work that way, no? You're gonna have to redo what I did here dito sa demo, okay? So, I'm just gonna save this one, UV, and then export UV layout. Of course, wait. Meron natin to. So, UV, export UV layout, make sure all UV is on. Itong fill opacity, siguro bump up natin to ng konti. Hindi, sige, zero out na lang natin. And then, lagay natin siya dito sa folder ko. Body, export UV layout, and then, tingnan natin. There it is. There is our UV. Now, siguro definitely, mangyayari dito, you're gonna be looking up over the internet how to UV unwrap. Tapos may makikita rin kayo. Texture paint, no? Bawal texture paint, guys, no? I can't let you use texture paint, no? Sa 3D ANI na yon, okay? I'm not gonna allow you to use texture paint. I want you to use your own art software, no? Whether it be IBIS or Photoshop. Make your own unique texture for this one, no? So, gawin na lang natin. Again, repeat na lang natin kung ano yung kailangan i-gawin, no? Repeat lang natin kung ano yung kailangan ipasa for the UV map. So, of course, in your art software, import natin yung UV map nyo. And then, do whatever texture that you want here. Do whatever texture na kung anong gusto nyo gawin. So, let's say, gawa-gawa lang ng ganyan, gawa-gawa lang ganyan. Okay, so let's say that's the texture, no? Of course, wait. So have this one a separate layer on its own. And then do whatever the hell texture that you want. Yan, texture, whatever, no? So, palaki natin. Ayan, para kita. So texture, whatever na texture ng gusto yung gawin dyan. Once you're done, para i-import nyo na yung texture nyo dun sa just have the texture visible. Hindi nyo kailangan pakita tong grids nyo unless gusto nyo pakita, no? So, keep the texture nyo and then save nyo lang yung texture nyo as that. Pero yung ipapasa nyo sa akin sa Big Sky, yung ito, no? With the texture, no? UV maps with the texture, ganito yung sasubmit nyo. So, ganyan. So, kita ko yung UV map nyo and then kita yung texture, okay? And then literally just save it as that, okay? Save it as is. Are we clear on that? Nawala na yung iba. 6 na lang kayo natitira, yung mga masisipag na estudyante. So, there we go. That is your activity 7. Are we clear on that? Clear tayo?
Yes,
So,
po.
nalito
Yes, sir.
sa
Ano na?
second po na yung second po na isa-submit namin, yung UV maps with texture. So parang ganun, yung parang sa pinakita niyo po, sir. Ganyan
Yep,
po.
ganito. Yes, ganito yung isa-submit niyo sa akin. For the UV map sa Big Sky. Ito. For the UV map po. For the UV map submissions. Okay?
PNG
So,
po ba, sir?
Yep, PNG, JPEG, kayo bahala, no? Same case din naman sa sa pag save nyo na texture, pwedeng PNG, pwedeng JPEG, no? Mare-recognize naman yan. Pero ang difference lang, yung isa-save nyo na texture na kapag let's say tapos ka na sa texture nyo. Let's say tapos ka na sa texture, this is your texture, no? Turn off nyo na lang itong UV map nyo and then save it as this. Saka nyo siya ilagay sa Blender. Okay? Okay? So, yun. That's about it. But, yung isasubmit nyo sa Big Sky, gusto ko, kita ko tong UV map nyo along with the texture that you made. Okay? Alright, clear tayo?
Yes, sir. Thank you po.
Alright, so that's the end of our class. I'll be posting this recording sa YouTube na lang para alam kong nakikita kong may nagbi-visit dito sa discussion natin. No? Kasi definitely maraming magtatanong dito, maraming maghihirap. Wala tayong klase next week. No? And next week din ang submission ng ating Activity 7. Okay? So that is it. That is the end of our discussion. Alright? So see you next meeting, which will be on, okay, wala tayo sa 31. Online meeting tayo sa November 7, which is sa Discord na lang tayo. So sa Discord, ano tayo doon? Consultation lang tayo sa November 7, and then next face-to-face meeting, November 14, that will be your final activity na rin. No? So yung final activity natin, associated siya dito sa ibibigay ko na PowerPoint sa inyo sa 31. So, on the day din natin gagawin yung activity na yun, which is on November 14. Okay? So, there we go. Also, make use of nga din. Make use din of your, of the labs. No? Gawin nyo rin yung, yung mga finals nyo. Okay? So, that is it. So, we're done for the day. Okay? So, save ko na lang tong recording.
May question na din po para sa deadline.
Yes. Yes.
Then po, sir, yun sa Big Sky po nakasulat November 2 po. Yun pa rin po ba yung deadline, sir? Kasi wala pong pasok ng November 2 po.
Yes. That's hindi in relation ng deadlines natin na mga kailangan natin ipasa for classes, no? So kung deadline natin sa November 2, deadline natin sa November 2. Okay, sige na nga. Fine. Pagbigyan ko na nga kayo. Sige, extend ko na nga. Sige na, pagbigyan ko na nga. Mabait naman ako.
Tinanong ko lang po
Hindi, joke lang. Sige, extend ko na nga. Sige, pagbigyan ko na kayo. Sige, gawin na natin. Fine, November 4. Kasi yun nga, this is a fairly hard na, activity. The hardest activity that you'll be doing. No? Okay, so, gawin na natin tong, ano yung sinabi ko? November 4. Okay, fine. November 4. November 4. Yan. Okay? Gusto tayo dyan. Okay, final na yon. Alright? So, yung last activity natin is activity 8. Activity 8, which will be, it's not that complicated. I guess it's going to be the third hardest. No. Yeah, tama. Third hardest na nga natin. Third hardest natin. Hardest na activity natin is UV unwrapping. Second hardest natin is rendering, and then yes, third hardest na natin is activity 8. Hindi ko muna sasabihin kung ano yung activity 8 nyo, but in one day natin kailangan gawin yon. Okay? So there we go. So class is over. Okay na. Any more questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, ilan pa pong activities before we
Isa na lang.
finals?
Isa na lang. No? So hanggang activity 8 lang tayo. No? Hanggang activity 8 lang. So, last activity na yung sa November 14. No, November 14. So, next face-to-face. Okay? Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. So, if wala na questions and then if a question suddenly popped up in your mind, send nyo lang ng message. Okay? So, class is dismissed. I'll post the recording after this.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you po.
Okay.